Nō reira e tiwi e te whānau hoki mai, te wairoa hoki mai te whakaaro. Now, it's a pleasure for me to introduce our next key speakers. Te whānau Downes, ne? All the way from a huge metropolis of Taumaranui. Ui. So some of you have blinked through there, ka pai. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce James Te Here Kie Downes, and of course, his son Jamie Tūrama Tuahuriri Downes. Father and son team, like Batman and Robin. Hey? Now what they've done is just somewhat, it's not so miraculous, but it's a step in the right direction for all whānau to do. Our father saw a gap and he saw a reason why he needed to be a leader for not only his family, but for his communities. And then to be that role model for his son to then follow in his footsteps. He mea rawe tērā. Of course, it runs right throughout the family. They turned a local liquor store into what is now the Powerhouse Youth Centre. They've been able to do this not just within their own whānau, but right throughout their whole community. And now they get to speak and to educate and to inspire us all right throughout Aotearoa. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and honour to introduce Te Whānau Downes. Kia ora.
Kia ora. We thought we'd bring back all this too, so. But, kia ora koutou. Ko tongariro tō ngaunga, ko taupo te moana, ko te aroa te waka, ko tūwhare tō te iwi, ko ngā te hinimi te hapu, ko James Te Here Downes, taku ingoa, tō Tamaruni ahau. First of all, I want to thank Helen for making this invitation possible to come here and speak. Her daughter, Tupua, is my niece, and she is a part of our whānau, and I make acknowledgement of that. I was hoping that Whaia Tariana was here, but I see that she's not. And the reason why I want to do this is because this journey that we've been on for the last 4 years, we had the opportunity to go and, when Auntie Tariana was still in government, she caught us down to Wellington to hear what we'd been doing in Taumaranui. Long story short, she made it possible for us to get some pūtea to work on this mahi that we've been doing back in Taumaranui. So this, I definitely say that Auntie Tari is going to be a part of your legacy as well, and I thank you for that. I want to take this time also to thank Lee and Kessner for their manaaki and their aroha, and the beautiful Auntie Molly for looking after us. So I acknowledge this place, this beautiful place here in Blenheim. It's not the first time I've been here, it's my second time. And but the South Island, you know, we loved it that much that well, about 9-10 years ago we bought a section in Kaikoura, and with the intentions of building a house on it. Yeah, so but our journey sort of took another direction, so we had to settle the section up. And but anyway, what I want to do is I really want to give time to my son Jamie to come. But what what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort of just very quickly, if I may, sort of lay a foundation from where it started for me. And the start of this is that in 7 words, this is what I wanted for my family. It was that I wanted a better life for them. And with that, the reason why I wanted a better life for them was because of my upbringing. It wasn't such a good one. And I just want to say, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm going to speak about a place, a dark place that was very much a part of my upbringing, and it was around alcohol. It was that bad that when I was just born, I might have been only 6 months old. The story I was told that my mum and dad left me outside the local pub in Taumaranui while they were inside getting drunk. My grandmother, my old people heard about this, and she sent my mum and sister to come and get me and never gave me back. So I was brought up with my old people. And with it, I learned some very how I put it, some stuff around how to treat people. And one of the main characters in my upbringing was my grandmother. And so not so much my koro, but my grandmother had a big part in shaping and teaching me. And it was that you know, like when they took me and they grazed me, and then 11 years later, it seemed like it was quite quickly my grandfather died, and then my grandmother died, and then the auntie that helped bring me up, she passed away. And with it come this real hurt, and just put me in a bad place. I can remember, and then I was given back to my maternal parents, and but alcohol played a big part in everything wrong, and the dysfunction that come with it. And it made such an impact on my life that I've told my children many a times that on these 2 fingers I can count the amount of times I ever got drunk. That's how much it impacted me. And from there, I didn't want that for my children. And with that, I started thinking about what I wanted for them and what it was going to take to not have them go down the same. I didn't want to give that life to my children. And long story short is that we got into business. And business, when I mean business, commercial business, it became a vehicle. It became a vehicle for change for my whānau, for my family. And again, long story short, 27 years in business. Jenna, my daughter Jenna, she was only 5 years old when she was serving up at the counter of the shop. She had a little stool that she would push up to the till and serve customers. And so right through until right now, we've always done mahi and worked together as a family. The other thing is that there's some stuff that I didn't want my kids to experience, and one of them was the need to go into social welfare to sign up on a benefit. I've got 4 adult children now, and not one of them has had to go to social welfare for an income. But, you know, like, my thing is over 27 years, it was important that the businesses did a few things, and one of them was that it gave experiences to my children that I knew they wouldn't get anywhere else. And in Taumaranui, you sort of had to work out employment. And so The business had to give them jobs, and it had to teach them how to hold on to things. And I say that for this reason. I said to them when they're only quite young, as I said, it's no good me and Mum working hard to build up these if anything happens to us that you guys aren't strong enough to hold them. So with that in mind, every time there was a need within the business, they were my board members. My kids were my board members. We'll sit down and say, this is where we're at, this is how much money we got, what are we going to do with it? On the other hand, it was, this is an amount of money that we need to pay in such and such a time. How are we going to do this? But when I talk about commercial businesses, we had numerous businesses, and through them the kids learnt how to run them, manage them. Jenna was managing a shop of ours when she was, how old, darling? 12? Oh, yeah. But it was something, like, I'd put them there, but they knew that I was there to help them and guide them through it. Did they make mistakes? Yeah, they did, heaps of them. But that wasn't what it was about. It was knowing my past and knowing that I didn't want them to go down that track. So, I'll tell you, just the other morning before we left to come down to to fly down to here, I woke up and made a cup of tea for my wife Moana, and Helen, she sends all her regards. She's sorry that she couldn't make it, but we were expecting our 12th moko, so she wanted to stay home to make sure that everything was fine back home. But she sends her love. But we were sitting there talking, and she said, how's the presentation going? I said, oh, yeah, good. She said, how long are you speaking for? I said, oh, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. She said, are you going to be able to talk for that long? And I said, yeah. We've got a couple of video clips. They're going to take 7-8 minutes, and then... yeah, so. But like I said before, I really, really want to... that's sort of the basis of where we've come from and where the kids... what I sort of laid before them, the foundation for them to be able to do what we do now. I can honestly say now that this journey that we've been on in the last 4 years, it's been quite a rocky journey. And I mean that in the fact that there's been some hard times, and I know that we would never have got through this part without that learning, 27 years learning in the business, because the kids learned how to be resilient. They learned how to stay in there, to be committed, and to be disciplined in whatever needed to be done. So like Ra said, 4 years ago, we took on the old pub in Taumaranui, the same pub that I had been left out front of, and we turned it into a wellness centre. But on that note, I'll hand it over to my son Jamie, and he'll go through the next part of it. Kia ora.
Kia ora everybody. I don't like public speaking. This is not really me. I leave it to Jamie and Dad. But Jamie wanted me to get up and have a bit of a kōrero about where I've come from and what I thought the differences were that Mum and Dad made for us. So I was 4 years old when they brought our first business. It was a dairy, and at 5 years old I used to push a little stool up to the counter to serve people, and I used to be really excited to do that. And one day an old guy came in. Some of you might know he owns the Golden Kiwi, which is the local fish and chip shop. And anyway, he's a bit of a character, and he come in one day and he said to me, I gave him back his change, and he looked at me and he said, you've shortchanged me. And I said, no, I don't think so. And then he started counting the money back, and he said, oh, you actually haven't. And I didn't think anything of it, and he said, but you need to learn how to count money backwards. And I said, why? And he said, so nobody can come back and tell you that you've shortchanged me. So long story short with that, within 6 months, I could count money backwards. And I felt in the shops that we had, it was always a drive of mine when somebody said you can't do it, to prove them wrong. From the age of 14, I used to live in our dairy by myself, which was not right, but Mum and Dad were busy, and that was just how it was. My brother, that's older than me, was supposed to be there, but he was a bit of a rebel and liked to go out and leave me at home by myself. But fast forward to 16, we got offered a cafe, and I said to Dad, "You've got to be kidding. How are we going to run a cafe when we have no idea about it?" Anyway, my dad didn't care what we thought, and him and Jamie were like, "No, we're doing this." So anyway, we opened up this cafe. But a big part of that was Te Puawai's papa. He used to have a cafe in Wellington, and that's my mum's brother, Uncle David. And he came up and he showed us everything we kind of needed to know to run our cafe. He helped with the setup of it, he told us what coffee brand to buy, but he also taught me how to bake. And so to this day, I do a lot of baking for our whānau, birthday cakes and everything, but every time I bake, it's always knowing that Uncle Dave left that part with me. Like Dad said, we've got number 12 niece, nephew on the way, and our first niece, she's 13 this year. She was 1 when we had the cafe, and she used to get a stool just like me, push it up to the table and want to bake the cakes with me. And as much as it was hard, because it would take so much longer, I had to let her stir the cake, and I'm trying to say, "Can I have a turn?" And she's going, "No, leave me alone, I want to do it myself." But by the age of 7, she could bake her own cakes, as long as I was there to show her and make her follow a recipe, then she was fine. But like I said to Dad, the other thing that was different for us kids, Jamie's my oldest brother, I've got another brother, Shane, so there's 5 or so years between me and Jamie, and then there's me and my younger brother. Me and my younger brother Jesse had it better than what my brothers Jamie and Shane had it. I only went to school for 2 years. We got pulled out of school when I was 7. It was Jamie's last year of primary school, and Mum homeschooled us, which I'm sure was a challenge for her sometimes, and I know sometimes she wanted to send us back to school, mainly because of the boys, because they were playing out. But we weren't exposed to what a lot are exposed to at school. And so my dad always said, "I don't bring you guys up and put into yous to have you go back into mainstream school and for it all to be lost or used to pick up habits that I don't really want you guys to pick up." So with that, because we were homeschooled, we could do part of our work, like bookwork, in the morning, which was school, but once we were finished that, we were allowed to freely go and work in the shops. And that's how, from a young age, we got to be employed by the business and yeah, do what we done. Oh. My brother's just telling me to tell a story. Our dairy that we had, about 3 shops down, there was an old Indian guy. His name was Pabu, and he had a fruit and vegetable shop. And I was only about 6 or 7, and him and his wife used to ask me to look after the front of their shop while they either went home and done stuff at home, or while they went out the back and checked their veggies. And he'd give me a packet of Hubba Bubba as my payment, and I thought, yeah, that's cool. But anyway, I come home one day, and my 2 older brothers started teasing me. And they started telling me that I was adopted. And I said, "I'm not adopted." And they said, "Yeah, Pabu and Namala are really your mum and dad." And I thought, no. And they said, "That's why they let you look after their shop, because you're really their daughter." And I remember crying to Mum and Dad one day, and I said, "You just didn't tell me I was adopted." And they said, "What are you talking about?" And I told them what happened. Yeah, Jamie and Shane got in trouble for that. But it's always a joke that we kind of joke about today. But yeah, for that passing on, like the generational pass on, it started from my grandparents, through my parents, onto us. And my dad always said that we got it pretty good, and we did get it pretty good, but our babies are going to get it even better than what we have. Yeah, so with that, I will hand you on to Jamie.
They do look kind of Indian though, eh? Thank you very much. We owned the dairy for 27 years, so I used to always, yeah. Aroha mai, we're just going to play a couple of clips. We heard from 2 doctors, and now there's us. And we wanted to show you some of the mahi that we do. For us, it's all about helping people to find their voice and share their stories. So as you see here, building whānau and rangatahi ora, it's part of us. It was in my koro, my dad, and now to us. And so these are just a couple of stories of 2 people in which we work with. And so, yeah, thank you very much. Kia ora. Downes. Our organisation is called Breakthrough Community Trust. It was birthed out of an innovation contract that we received from Ministry of Health after helping our community lose 1.5 tonne of weight, helping individuals find identity and start to apply all of those things of Te Whare Tapawhā.
My name is Marco Rada, and I'm from Taumaranui. My grandfather was a Mangumob, the president of the King Country. All my uncles and aunties and my mum, they were raised around Mangumob.
So the journey started with Mikey when his grand aunt sought help. He was put out of school and he was assaulting the police officers and the teachers and the students.
My dad was angry, abusive, alcoholic, a woman basher. He almost lost us to subs. Oh, my mum had a not so good life. She died because they were running away from the police. Her boyfriend lost control of the car and crashed into a power pole, and then she died a week after in the hospital.
So we come in really angry, started doing boxing, and we started to work with him around our Manutaonga program, which is for the under 16-year-old young boys. And then his dad was put onto our Manurere program, so that's through probation and corrections. And Lewis just wanted to make changes in his life so that he could actually have his children. So we supported him in that way.
Everything changed when my dad stopped drinking and settled down. Me and my dad, we just, I don't know, just changed.
So personally, where I saw the turnaround was when Lewis identified that he did have a problem and that he wanted to make changes so that he could actually have his children and his family. And because of those decisions and then steps towards it, the fruit was his son.
Now my relationship with my dad is amazing. He's coming into the gym now with me, and he's gonna do the father-son program with me, and it's gonna be cool.
The transformation that has taken place in Mike is phenomenal. The school teachers have come back and just said, wow, the change that has taken place in this young man is just amazing. He's now leading in so many different areas. He's like the Pied Piper. He turns up one day, 3 turn up with him, next day 7, next day 11, and then I didn't see him on the 5th day on a Friday, and I said, why didn't you come? He said, because there's too many of them. I don't want them to all come. And I said, well, you don't see the positiveness of this? You're a leader and they're following you. Oh, I said, but you're leading them somewhere good now. And he turned around and thought, oh yeah, okay, sweet.
I got selected as the Ongaree Transport Captain, and we beat the undefending champions that were holding the shield for 3 years, and we took it off them and we won the game by 1 point.
My heart for this area of Taumaranui and the Ruapehu district is reconnection and reconciliation, helping the individuals that walk through our doors to find reconciliation in every area, body, mind, spirit, in their whānau. Connection is important, especially on the basis of a father to a son. You've got suicide, you've got all of these things happening now with our young men. They need a father, not just a dad. So to me, one of the most important target areas, I suppose, that we emphasise on is actually that relationship of a father and a son.
In April 2017, the first Break the Cycle whānau restoration camp was held near Taumaranui. It was a 3-day adventure experience packed with team building activities and plenty of time to connect with each other and nature.
My name is Larry Toitoi. When I was growing up, I didn't have a father. My mum was my father, my first cousins were my father. I was a bit of an angry fella, no fella to talk to, a bit shy, a bit rugged. Never been on experience like going out on camps, bushwalks. That was all new to me. Before that, I wouldn't have done it.
The concept of the camp was inspired by founder Jamie Downes' work in suicide prevention and family restoration, and was created as a stand against bullying, depression and suicide.
So if we can actually strengthen the communication and help them to understand each other from a camp environment first, to give them an experience, then it opens up pretty much the floodgates for them to be able to share what the trauma is that they're going through as individuals, help to acknowledge the strengths that they have as a parent and a child, and then basically looking at what the future looks like for them.
All the different stories I heard over that weekend just blew me away. Me and my daughter were like, on that weekend, you know, doing everything together, brought us closer, stopped us arguing at one another more too. That whole weekend was, you know, I treasured about me and her.
When the relationship between a parent and a child is strengthened, the impact is felt across the generations and the wider community.
One girl was saying that her father is a different man, totally different man. And now it's like he's got purpose. He's wanting to have a better future for not only himself but his children and his grandchildren.
It matters what we do in our families, it matters what we do in our communities. You believe that he's actually somebody in whakapapa, somebody's mokopuna, somebody's great-grandson. Even though he's been through a hell of a life, he's now understanding and realising who he is.
All my kids are proud of me, trying to break that cycle, do better with my kids so they don't follow my bad side. I want them to follow my good side and have a better life than what I had. I'm a change fella anyway. Different now.
Awesome, mate. Awesome.
Jamie and his team are excited to continue hosting these life-changing camps. If you'd like to book in, donate to the cause or find out more, please contact Jamie Downes at manumovement@gmail.com.
Kia whakarongo ake au ki te tangi o te manu nei. E tu mātui, tui, tui, tuia. Tuia i runga, tuia i raro, tuia i waho, tuia i roto. Tuia, o tui te here tangata. Ka rongo he te pō, ka rongo te ao. Tui te muka tangata. I tākia mai i Hawaii nui, i Hawaii roa, i Hawaii ki pāo mau mau. O ti rā, me ira, atu ano Hawaii ki. Te hono a wairua, whakaputa ki te whaiao, ki te ao marama, ti hei mauri ora. I listen to the cry of the bird, the mātui, calling tui, 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 tuia, that it be woven above as it is below, woven without as it is within, interwoven with the threads of humanity, felt in innocence and in consciousness, intertwined with the threads of mankind, born from great Hawaii, from far Hawaii, from long distance Hawaii, and hence all other Hawaii. The merging of spirits out in the world of light, life, knowledge, and illumination. Sneeze, O living spirit, dynamic life force, and life principle. Ko ruapiu te maunga, ko wanganui te awa. Ko Aotea te waka, ko hate aunui a pāparangi te iwi. Ko hini nākau te hapu, ko nāpu waiwaha te marae. Ko Jamie tōku ingoa. Kia ora whānau, it's an honour to be here, it's a privilege to be here. My legs are shaking a little bit. I'll shake it out. First and foremost, I want to honour you, Auntie Helen, for all your mahi and all you do and all you've done for our people. To see you standing in your mana and doing what you do, I'm honoured and privileged to be here. To support you in this kaupapa here in Te Waipounamu, to also be here alongside my cousin, Te Puawai. Bit of nepotism maybe, but we'll take it. And we're honoured to be here to share a story. I don't know where Dr. who spoke before me is, but how she was talking about story. Today I want to take you on a journey, and because some people went long, I think my time's cut really short, so I'm going to try and really get through this really quick. We've been asked to come here and talk on an intergenerational kaupapa and also the manu kōrero, in which how we've been able to help our whānau in Taumaranui. And so I'm going to quickly try and run through this, but then at the same time not take this opportunity to actually share a little bit more of our story. So here we go. Right here, this is my karawa. Tūrama, Akapita Marekura, takes the name Te Wiki, Kōpeke Te Wiki. This amazing man here, he also lives with us at home. So 3 generations under one roof. And we love it. It was amazing to hear and be escorted here by Kasna and hear about their whānau and your whānau and Nani Molly. Oh, just amazing just to see and hear of whānau being together. We are privileged. My nan, she is no longer staying at home with us. She is in care at the moment. She had a stroke about 3 years ago. And so she is there in care. Up at a home there. So these two here mapped out and pathed out a way for us to have a better life. One thing that I used to always say to my mum is, Mum, Koko's provoking me to anger. And he used to. And so, yeah, that's what I do to my nieces and nephews now, so I pass it on. So, yeah, one thing that I want to try and weave today is about 3 things. About belief, brokenness, and breakthrough. I couldn't put P in there, so at the end was brea. You need brea. No, pray. Okay, it didn't quite line up with the 3 B's, so my koro has always taught me about the power of prayer. Okay? So belief, brokenness, and breakthrough. And so I've only just recently found this out, but because my koro stays at home with us, we regularly kōrero when we go home. And he had recently told me about this man here. Who knows this man here? Koroachi, Sir Achi Tairo. So this gentleman here said to my koro one day, Turama, you need to move from Raitahi to Taumaranui. And I'll be able to give you an opportunity for your tamariki to go and get trades. So my koro, he done that. He moved to Taumaranui, and all of a sudden, all of the children actually got trades. One of my uncles actually loved it so much here in the South Island that he actually married a wahine from the South Island and set his feet down there, Uncle Doug Haitana. And so, yeah, he's still down there. Going back to it, it was about my koro creating an opportunity for his children to have a better future. The beauty of that is that Uncle Doug's daughter went on to get a degree in psychology, and she's now doing her doctorate. And her son has just come out of being a fully qualified mechanic. All because of the decisions that a father made or a grandfather made for the next generation, for the next generation, for the next generation. So now we have 4 generations of hope. And all because he decided to plant a new seed that gets a new tree, that gets a new fruit. So repeat after me. Plant a new seed, get a new tree, get some new fruit. So, one story that my koro told me about prayer, was that he was brought up under the ringatu faith. And he remembers one day his whole eyes and everything had been shut and his face was stinging like his head was going to explode. His koro, his dad, come home. He says, come on boy, we're going down the awa, we're going to go and we're going to fix this. It was hard because he had been sick for a little while. Took him down, sprinkled some water on him, and he was healed the next day and he went to school. A little disappointed, he said, having to go back to school. Nevertheless, what his dad was also heavy into the drinking. So the seed in which his father sowed became a tree in his life, which actually became a stumbling block for him, and alcohol became a part of his life. Anyway, he decided later on that he didn't need that and he didn't want that because he wanted to now set a new path and a new system in motion for not only his children but his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren. So eventually along came my mum and my dad. And these two here were the one that taught me love. He's my superhero, he's my dad. We do mahi together, and we now go out and we talk about the relationship of a father and the son, relationship now of a father and a daughter, and my mum now a relationship of a mother and a son, mother and a daughter, and the power of connection of bringing whānau back together to strengthen those bonds between each other. How my mum and my dad taught me love, aroha, and the power of prayer is that when I was only 5 years old, I remember vividly, 5 years old, I broke my arm. I've actually still got the scar here, scar here, scar here. It broke once. They tried to snap it into place back then. Didn't work. Gonna snap it into place again the 3rd time, and Dad says, no. He's already missed the whole year of school, and he's behind. While I was sitting in that hospital bed, I remember my mum always saying to me, just say thank you to Atua. Say thank you to the Lord. I'm like, thank you? Why do you say thank you for this? So I'm sitting there, thank you, Lord. Okay, thank you, Lord. And the pain would go away, no lies. And while my dad would come, and he showed me the love of the Father because he used to always hug me while I was on that bed, stretched out with a big pin out the end of it that they used to bump every now and then, and I'm like, ah! And Dad would sit there and he'd love me, he'd hug me, he'd sniff my head like, ah. I continually do that to my nieces and nephew and go, go and get some Pantene, you need a wash. But the whole thing is my dad continued to love me and love us through what he'd done. Then he'd go back to work in mahi, and he left my mum there to tell me, oh, thank you, Lord, for a whole year, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. And guess what happened at the end of it? They still didn't even fix it. It's still healed, buckled. But out of brokenness come breakthrough. Out of brokenness comes strength. Out of the past come peace and freedom. It's because of the love in which this man and this woman actually showed towards me through all of this. Even though I missed 1 year and I got behind and I became one of those haututu rangatahi, and at 11 they pulled me out of school because my ears weren't working, I come to the stage where I'm just like going, oh my gosh, I think I was one of those undiagnosed ADD kids. So that's why I enjoy working with these rangatahi and their parents. So yeah, anyway, we're going to fast forward so I can try and pull this all together. This was where it all started. So this here was in 1989. My dad had an idea to go and tell all of his brothers and sisters, hey, we need to get a better future for our kids and all of that. How about we all go in together and we buy this dairy? Well, long story short, from 1989 through to 2009, we've gone through seven plus businesses. We had the West End Dairy, then we had Castle Bar Dairy, then heaps of rangatahi were getting into trouble on the street, so Dad went through and he paid and helped to open up and turn the liquor store, which was next to the old pub, into the drop-in centre for rangatahi. Then we went into the cafe, and it was always around creating jobs and employment for us. And I used to hate it, to be honest. All my cousins are out there on the pai playing around, playing, ropa on their feet, having an awesome time. And we're sitting there and we're going, no, we're not allowed to be there because there was so much alcohol in there around the marae. And I actually hated my dad for a long time. Until later on, I realised that all that hard work that we had put in was to actually create a new place for us and a new position for us. Not to skite here or not to blow here, but it was able to actually get us homes so that we're in a better place. So this whole thing that we had started with a group of 12 of mum and dad's brothers and sisters, brothers-in-laws, actually come to the stage where it was only us. But initially, do you know what the goal was? The goal was to make money so that we could all come down here together as a whānau to go and meet the uncle, to visit the uncle in Christchurch. Guess what? We didn't even get there. But this was a way for us to now start to map out this new direction for us, for the next generation, and now we're doing this within the community. In 2009, I was clinically diagnosed as clinically blind. I slipped into a huge depression, deep depression, where I sat there and come to the stage of going to commit suicide and take my life. There was a lot of pressure in which, even though I was brought up around a loving and a caring mum and dad, actually under a Pentecostal church upbringing, I still come to the stage where I felt like I couldn't even speak. And so in 2009, I got to the stage where I was there ready to take my life. And all of a sudden, I had this encounter. And this is where the manu kōrero comes in. I had this encounter where the atua come, and I had this dream of all of these manu. I thought I was going crazy. The embrace and the feeling of what happened that night changed my life. It actually changed my whole thinking, especially when it started to take me out into the ngahere by the awa, and I started to have this experience around the manu. That night that I was there and I was depressed, and those glasses there, they were about that thick. And once again, I said, I've got the paper to prove that I was clinically blind. And so I made a deal with this fellow up here. If you give me back my sight, I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to helping people. But I want you to give me something that's not judgmental, like that which was inside the church. And so he started to give me the picture of these birds. All of a sudden, after I made that deal with him, instantly within a couple of weeks, I get this phone call. There's this new cornea graft that we can give you to actually help to possibly give you your sight back. I'm like, what? Next minute, turn up, it's going to cost us $23,000 to get it done. And I'm like, oh, Dad, where are we going to get the $23,000? Okay, we have a brow. So we had a brow. Dear Lord, oh, next minute, come back in. Hey, how about we give you this transplant for free, and you're now go and lose some weight? Because at that time I'd gone really, really big. So I was like, what? I ended up having the opportunity to go into hospital. I lost like 50 kgs. And the reason why I chose that blurry shot was because that's how my vision was. It was actually 5 times that. So when people sing that song, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was blind, but now I see, sorry, wrong words, was blind, but now I see. So that song became a part of me. I got this vision back. I'm like going, oh no, I made a deal with that fella upstairs now. I was walking around like this going, holy heck, man, this is awesome. I'll go up to Auntie, oh my gosh, Auntie, I can see pimples on everyone's face. Like, I've never been able to see that before. But that was amazing because it gave me back my vision and it gave me back my sight. After that, and that transformation, all of this stuff started coming to me in regards to the birds. And I'm like, what does that mean? The more. See your past as a stepping stone. Just like that manu was sustainable food for your people. See your past as a stepping stone out of that hole into existence, like the kiwi, that you will find yourself in darkness, existing but endangered. And as you walk out of being endangered from the darkness and moving out of the darkness of the purpose of yourself, you can walk into the new day of the pukeko that navigates through the awa, navigates through the waters, to now plan and find your plan to move from your past, to find your purpose, to now move into the nahiri of activating your purpose and your plan inside your home, like this manu who activates love, who activates manaki, who goes down from the mid-reaches of the nahiri to go and find kai for his whānau, to go back and feed them and then sing to his wahine, because he is practicing his plan, because his past has now become his purpose. Because from his purpose, now he can move from practicing to positioning with a message like the Tiwai Waka that navigates from the sea level to the mountaintops. And as he navigates and goes to the mountaintops, he will say, there I am upon the water, the great unknown, my feet may fail. And there I find you in the distance, when oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name to navigate me like the manu, in which navigated us all the way from Hawaii to here. With a message of hope from the maunga, practicing aroha and manaki from the trees, finding a plan to navigate through the awa, through the waters, because the darkness is now the stepping stone from the past, like the moa, of embracing your whakapapa and knowing who you are so you can soar like the kahu, better equipped to see where all the other manu are, that you can help them navigate, you can help them go to the next stage of moving from the hole out of darkness into the feckled light, into the shaded light, into the clouded light, into the open light of Muriora. And I'm like going, what the heck's going on? It's time to find your voice. It's time to find the tui in you. Because when you find your voice from the whole, you are now able to actually help others find their voice. And submitting to that peace, Christians call it the dove, which is the Holy Spirit, kiriru, atua, kai, nah. Kai down here, eh? Pricey Kai. So as you now start to embrace your peace and you start to profess like the tui, it's because you are paying it forward like the kahu, because you are positioned in a better place on the maunga, because now you have found that you need to practice your plan, because you now have purpose, because your past is a stepping stone. Like this cup here. Everything's about perspective. Everyone's in a place. It depends on how you see it. What do we see here? Paper in a cup. Oh, cool. Sweet. Okay. What do we have here? What do we have here? Okay, sweet. Okay. What happens if we do this? Paper on top of a cup. So many of our Māori have a mindset of this. I'm here to celebrate who we are as Māori today. I'm here to celebrate on who we are, because when we can go and we can see the whole as a step, then we can move forward. And this is the kaupapa, briefly, in which we help our rangatahi, our whānau, our koro, our karaua, to actually see their past as a step and not a stumbling block. I can quickly go through the rest of these slides, because the whole thing is that building whānau and rangatahi ora was given to us by Whaia Tariana up the back there. When we went down to her office, see that fella up on the side, a little bit skinnier, eh? Yeah, well, that used to be me. 4 years of doing this mahi, like they had said, it's taken a toll. But I'm back. I'm back and I'm ready and I'm on again on that new journey to get back, because what started over here with Ministry of Health went on to us now opening that there, which was a place of destruction of our whole community, the pub, which we opened and transformed into a wellness centre, which up top in those rooms up there, we'd house 12 men that didn't have anywhere to go. Women's Refuge was full, and so were we, with men that didn't have a place to live. And then guess what? Some more brokenness happened. I don't know what happened with the prayer, but we ended up losing this place. The landlord, sorry, aroha mai, this was Whaiatari, my nephew Shawnee, when she came to open it. We wanted to get this place open real quick and get it done real quick so that she could open it before she left Parliament, because we thought straight away she needs to be here to see this transformation of a place of destruction into a place of destiny. Here we have rangatahi, a place of breakthrough, where they can come in and they'll look at the stuff and the gear and go, whoa, yeah, now let's aim high. So yeah, once again, some rangatahi here enjoying after school. Enjoying their time here at Breakthrough Wellness Centre. From Breakthrough Wellness Centre was created Breakthrough Community Trust, in which we operate. After we lost the building due to our landlord shafting us, once again it was a time of prayer to get down karakia, and we took a new direction, which was working with these rangatahi here. So these were 4 rangatahi within our community that were those children through YJ. Not naughty children, naughty behaviour. These rangatahi were in front of 28 more other rangatahi that were on police file, and that at that time there was actually, I think, 7 to 8, maybe 12 on police file. This mahi that we ended up doing with these boys enabled us to take them to, you got Reliable Way up there. We took the rangatahi there because this is where Dad used to work. At 14 years of age, he moved to Auckland to work at Monia Tiles. So we went to take those boys there to be a part of it. So we're talking about home invasions. We're talking about, lots of stuff. Car conversions, all of that sort of stuff that we work, and we just love them. Anyway, 2 years down the track now, 2 of them have got full-time jobs. 2 of the others are in education. We've now had the ability to also go into the local high school. So aroha mai, I need to go back. So what came off these boys here, the mahi that we've done with these rangatahi, is now brought it to the stage where in our area, youth court, there's no more youth going through youth court. They actually get referred over to us through a collaboration with other stuff. It's not just us. So once again, they came to us, Oranga Tamariki. We didn't go to them. Probation came to us after that, before that as well, and asked us to do that program that was mentioned with the older ones, with the fathers. So Manu Rere is with our fathers, Manu Afi, 17 to 25 in corrections, in which we help and we put them into that camp environment so we can teach them using Ngā Manu kōrero. The hard thing that we found was that you couldn't take them to marae because of this thing called health and safety. And so we had to adapt and go, okay, then sweet as, we'll go and take them to a camp that's got your tick, so then we can actually tick it, and then we'll just bring the kaupapa, the Māori, to the camp. And so, yeah, this here is the local high school mainstream, in which we were asked by the principal to go in and help some of the students there that had no direction. I said, bro, this is going to be a piece of cake, helping these ones from where we've come from. He lied to me though. He said 10 in the class, next minute 19 turn up. Week after 26 turn up. Next minute they want a girls program as well. So that's going to be Jenna. Maybe we're going to go through and we're going to look at what we're going to do moving forward. So in the last 2 years, like Dad had said, it's been a real struggle. It's been a challenge. I ain't going to lie to you, because we've had to go through and do this out of our own. But this is for the love of it. One thing I didn't mention is that back there in that pub, how we had the pub, all the way back here, what happened was, just a little story in closing, is that when we done the contract, because we've been in business, we went to the bank. We said to the bank, hey, excuse me, on this contract, could we lend against this, because we need to actually set up our infrastructure? And we know that through this putia is not for infrastructure. So because Dad had always gone on a prayer and gone to the bank, and the bank had always said, yeah, sweet as, the bank said, yeah, sweet, we will. So we knew that was going to be a process, so we went to one of the other cousins that we knew had money. Cousin, can we borrow some money? Yeah, sweet, we'll pay it back to you when we can get it back. So we went through, done it all up. All of a sudden the bank come back and says, no, we're not going to actually fund you. So we were left in a position where Dad and us as a family, his board of directors, we're there sitting there going, what are we going to do? Are we going to give this money back, or are we going to go on, even though we've been kicked out of the building? What are we going to do? All of a sudden, Dad said we're going to sell everything. So we actually sold everything to put it into that, and then all of a sudden, boom, we lost it. But we're still here. We're still here. We still want that building back. We still want to do that, and somehow we are. But I want to just share about where we've come from, where we're at now, where we're going. We've actually got something that they want. We've actually got something that even Wanganui has actually rang us up and says, will you actually come and work in Wanganui with some rangatai? So we're at a stage now where we're really sussing out where we're going to go to. Oh, what part? Oh, yes. So rewind. Oh, no, sorry, fast forward. So because we went through and we were umbrellaed under another group that had level 2, they've actually come back to us and said to us now, we want to give you a 3-year contract. 3-year contract's all good, but when you actually hear that the parity in which you're getting paid is something like 8 to 1, we need to have some conversations. But once again, for us, it's not about the putia, it's about them going and saying, hey, so, I don't know, this place seems pretty cool, we might have to move down here. No, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
E te whānau Downes. It has been quite humbling and a privilege and an honour to hear your blood, sweat, tears, the mamai, the sacrifices that you've made, but that you've turned into a journey of love, hope, and belief. The issues that you talk about, bullying, suicide, drugs, alcohol, the loss of buildings, the loss of land, they're things that we are all experiencing, or we have experienced, or we're sitting by and watching. But you are the epitome of whānau ora, the absolute epitome. As we heard yesterday and again today, don't focus on the deficit, is what we've heard several times this last couple of days. You've shown that the solutions lay within, no matter what the challenges, no matter what you've lost. The solutions lay within, not in the Crown, or in the Crown agencies, or in the Council. You've opened the door to self-determination and you're inviting us through. That's notwithstanding that there are some conversations to be had. So we thank you for the courage in opening that door. And from our perspective, the importance of the manu to us here at Rangitane o Waido is poignant for us. Your mahi is important, it's special, and the stage you're at is quite unique. Nā reira, he kōtuku re ringa tahi.
Rangitane, ko te iwi karanga mai, wairo te awa e rere nei, e kawe nei ngā moe moea a rātou mā, e tukuna te tikanga mō te aroha, e tikuna te tikanga mō te aroha.
Just to let you know also, I believed in it so much that I actually went and got them tattooed all up my arm, because originally it wasn't for anyone else, it was just for me. And so, yeah, just thought I'd just share that. One of the things in which we do now with the rangatahi, which is their own decision, is they've actually found identity through actually getting some tāmoko that they have to actually work for, to make money for, to pay for their own. So, kia ora.